Here's another one of my little projects that I recently finished. It's a telephone intercom system. I have several telephones here. The board that I designed will accommodate up to 8 different phones, and most of what's on the circuit here is for signaling the other phones. It's pretty easy to wire several phones together so that you can talk between them, but the signaling is usually the critical part. What I've got is a circuit on here that decodes the touch tone from the telephones. When you push a button, it signals one of the other stations. In this case, I'm pushing the 2, so station number 2 is making a tone, and I also added LEDs so that you could see that the station was being signaled, as opposed to, say, another station, this one here, which would be station 7. I could signal that one. This would be station 8, except I didn't have enough phones to go around. And you just pick up the phone, you push the button for the station you want to talk to, sound the tone, they pick up the phone, you talk. Pretty simple. Runs on a 12-volt battery. You could probably have a couple of miles of line between the unit and the station, so you could have it at the neighbor's house, the barn, the garage, the workshop. Make use of that telephone wiring that's in your house. A lot of people don't have phones anymore, but you still have the wiring. If you built something like this, you could have phones in each room and just use it as an intercom to call somebody to come to dinner or whatever it is. The battery draw is about 50 milliamps when the system's in use while you're on the phone and talking. When it's hung up, it's about 50 microamps, essentially nothing. The circuit board, I've got a relay for each of the outputs, and all I'm doing is reversing the polarity of the line going out to the station to signal it. I'm using an 8870 DTMF, or touch tone decoder chip, and a 74HC237, which is a simple logic gate. It's a 3 to 8 decoder, because the output of this is binary, and I want individual outputs. And I added some LEDs onto the board so you can see as I go through the stations. So I can signal 8 different stations just dialing on the touchtone pad. Number 7 chattered because this phone is hooked to port number 7, and when I push the button, the thing decodes the tone, it reverses the polarity going to the station, and also disconnects it from the talk bus, and that's how it signals and makes the sounder operate and lights the LED, but it's no longer on the talk circuit, so it releases. But then when it goes back on the talk circuit, it turns on again. So if you try to call yourself, it'll chatter on any of the phones. If I'm on this one, I call 1, it'll chatter. But normally you wouldn't do that. You'd be calling station 2 or station 7 or whatever. And then to go a step further, I took a cheap cordless phone that I picked up, and I modified it. Most of these phones have the handset find button, or the page button, depending on what they called it. And I wired this up with a relay inside the handset so that when the reverse polarity comes across the line, it triggers this button so that I can pick up the phone, hit 4, and now this thing beeps, so I would know somebody was calling me. So I can just hit talk and answer it, and now I'm talking. So that's my little project.